Hi, this is Ambie from Board Game Blitz, and today I'm going to talk about all the games I played in December. What? Why am I saying December? Hi, this is Ambie from Board Game Blitz, and today I'm going to talk about all the games I played in September. So I actually had 51 plays, which is a lot, but of only 19 different games. So most of those plays, actually, 27 of the plays were of games that I've already talked about. So I had 15 plays logged of Pocketbook Adventures, which is a solo pencil and paper RPG that I talked about last time. I'm also talking about it on the podcast that comes out this week, and it's on Kickstarter now, but I've been enjoying playing it like everywhere whenever I have a couple minutes to spare. And then I played My First Adventure Finding the Dragon 12 times with my kids, which is basically just reading them a bedtime story where they choose your own adventure, but they're getting a lot better at it. The last couple of times they played, they actually won and beat the game, and so they're making decisions that actually get them not wounded instead of purposely going for the band-aids. All right, on to some new games and games that I played twice in September. I got to try Rush MD. So Rush MD is a real-time cooperative game that I've been wanting to play a lot. It's by the same people as Kitchen Rush, which is a real-time cooperative game that I enjoy. But Rush MD, you are all doctors working together to try to heal patients. So there's lots of different things you do, but the actions that you do, you're all hourglasses. So you have like this one hourglass, that's you, the doctor, and then you have like nurse hourglasses, and each person is a different hourglass. And you put them onto board to do different actions. And then you can't move them until the hourglass is done. So like the actions take time, and then you move them to do another action, and that takes time. So the nurses, everyone can control, but you can only control your own doctor. And then like some things that the doctors have to do, like surgeries, and then some things the nurses can do, like drawing blood and giving like medicine and stuff. But there's lots of steps you need to do to heal the patients. You have to like admit them and then diagnose them. And there's different mini games for diagnosing, which I think is really cool. Sometimes you have to like use tweezers for if things are sterile. And then you have to like, when you inject things in them, there's little syringes and you put the pieces in and you use the tweezers to do it. So I really enjoyed it. I liked it better than Kitchen Rush. I thought it was more thematic, especially with the little mini games and stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad we got to play Rush MD. Next is Soundbox, which is a party game that I actually got as a review copy. In Soundbox, it's a cooperative party game where one person has their eyes closed. There's like a thing that covers their eyes, and everyone else draws a number randomly from a bag. And on the board, there are a bunch of different cards that have different sounds on them, like railroad tracks or like a roller coaster. And so everyone randomly draws a number from a bag that points them to a sound. And then the person that closes their eyes, they know what's on the board, or they've seen the board before they close their eyes, they have to remember. And then everyone simultaneously makes their noise for 13 seconds. So everyone's making these noises, and then the person with their eyes closed has to like differentiate the noises and try to remember what everything is, and then they guess what all the noises were. Kind of codename style, they point to one at a time, and if they get wrong, then that's it. So you have to point to the one you're most sure of first. So first of all, it's really hard to differentiate the sounds and like see, okay, this person's making this noise, it sounds kind of like this, and then another person is making something else, but there's like 4 people making noises. So you have to differentiate all that, and then you also have to remember it because they stop making the sounds when you open your eyes and start pointing to the cards, and then it's like, okay, I remember this, but then like, oh shoot, I forget what someone else was making, and then what sound is it? So it's pretty hard, and it gets harder as the game moves on because as you get a better score, more sound cards come out. But we had a lot of fun playing. It's a fun, hilarious, cooperative party game. I also played The Color Monster twice. So The Color Monster is a children's game that's new to us. We got it as a gift for my kid's birthday, and I had been wanting it for a while. It was on their wish list. So The Color Monster is a game about feelings. There's a book that we haven't read, so it's like in the same universe as the book. But in the board game, you're rolling a die, moving this color monster around. It's cooperative. And there's 5 different color spaces that you go on, and each of them represents a different emotion, like happy, sadness, calm. So when you land on that emotion, you describe what would make you feel that emotion. So it's like, oh, I get happy when I'm playing with my friends or something. And then you take that emotion and you're trying to put it into a jar. So there's 8 jars. 5 of them are the colors that you want, and then 3 of them are like mixed up colors. So they're face down, and you flip it over and try to find the color that matches. And if you don't find the color that matches, you'll turn it back over. But if it's one of the mixed up colors, that's bad. And so like if all 3 of those come up, then you lose the game. So there's like kind of a memory of trying to match, like find the colors that are right, but then also talking about the emotions. So we kind of played it kind of by the rules. My kids don't really understand the emotions completely yet, but they were moving the monster around and like picking the color, and they liked trying to find the matches, but like sometimes they would pick 2 jars at once instead of just only picking one on their turn like they're supposed to. So we need a little work on them playing by the rules completely. But it seems like a good game, and the pieces are really, really chunky and nice. This game isn't new to me, Rosetta the Lost Language, but I played it twice. This is a cooperative language game where one person is the author who picks a word and everyone else is trying to guess the word. The way it works is there's these image hieroglyph type things. That's what represents the word. And so there's also like a picture card that serves as inspiration for the word that the author chooses. So people will be guessing a word and then the author will write down what that word is in the language, in the hieroglyphs. So it's not like pictures or symbols or anything. It's just like a new language basically that they're inventing. So if the word is kind of similar or uses some of the same meanings, then like it could use some of the symbols from the word that you're trying to guess and then like other things. And it's very creative. So I really enjoy this game. I like not being the author because I get too stressed out being the author and trying to like invent the language, but it's fun if someone else is the author. I also played Escape Team a few times. I only have 2 log plays, but I played like 4 missions or 3 missions or something. This is a print and play at home escape room game that uses an app. So I just played it solo, but basically there's different missions. You just print out a bunch of sheets of paper for the missions, and then the app has a timer, and each like phase of the mission has a different code. So you solve puzzles, you cut out stuff, or like do different puzzle solution things, and then you input the code into the app. And so the app has a timer, and then like as you input the codes each phase, and it tells you if you got it right. So I actually got this as a review copy. I think there's like 9 missions overall, and then plus there's a tutorial mission that's free, but the other ones you can pay for. So I've played through some of the missions so far, and I'm enjoying it. It's very puzzle heavy, not very much on the story side, which is, I like doing the puzzles. But it's also very crafty, so like a lot of cutting and there was some taping in the last mission that I did, so that takes a lot of time, and it works. I think it would work well with multiple players because there's 5 phases in each mission and you can do them independently. So like someone can be working on one puzzle while someone's working on another puzzle. So like I was just doing it by myself because I didn't have anyone that wanted to play with me, but it would work. You would get it done faster if there were more people. Another couple games we played that aren't new to us are Heyo and 9 Tiles. These are both Oink games, which Oink Games is a Japanese publisher that does small box games. There's a lot of them. But Heyo is a relatively new one that we got. It's a cooperative rhythm card game. So it's a cooperative card game where you're playing to the beat. There's a little like sound button thing that goes and then each time it does a little whistle thing, you gotta play a card. And if you don't play a card to the beat, then you get penalized. But you're trying to play cards and match up, like each card has 2 sides, the top and the bottom, and then they have different colors, and it's like a DJ or some sort of music theme. And you're trying to match up the colors, and then there's scoring cards of those colors. So you want to have like as many in a row and then the scoring card. But like everyone has to play, so they could not have that color and like have to play something that messes up the scoring. So you're like, there's no limits on communication, it's timed, so you don't have much time to talk about it. So I like it, it's pretty fun, really quick too. And then 9 Tiles is a speed game. It's my favorite Oink game. I like speed games, and so it's basically pattern matching. There's 9 tiles that are double-sided, have different patterns on it, and you're trying to match a 3x3 grid. So like there's little cards that show the pattern that you're trying to match, and whoever matches it first gets the card. Very simple, and I like speed games. All right, on to games that I played once. So first, there's an escape room game. Exit the Game. The Gate Between Worlds is an escape room game, so I only played it once. If you've heard me talk before, you probably know exit games I like a lot. They have lots of puzzles. This one I actually enjoyed a lot. It was linear, but like it had some unique puzzles. This isn't a spoiler, it's like in the instruction book. There's only 1 riddle card versus like a deck, what it usually has is, and there wasn't a booklet. There were just a bunch of world pamphlets or something, so you go through the different ones, and I had fun. We also played one game of Connected Clues, which is a party game. This we got as a review copy. Crystal also actually streamed this, so I think there will be a video of this going up in the near future, like a Twitch VOD of it. Connected Clues is a party game where you have 2 phrases together that like can be connected to be one phrase, like dog food and food fight make dog food fight. So then the person who sees the card is trying to give clues for the 2 phrases. So like a clue for dog food and a clue for food fight, and everyone else is trying to guess dog food fight. So It's like really easy, and it's for people who don't want to like do a heavy game or anything. My husband Toby actually said it's like the perfect game for people who don't want to play games. Like if you're in a party with a lot of people who don't want to be sitting down doing like a game, this is the type of game that they would like to play, and it's actually pretty fun trying to think of the clues and the words. I also played another Echoes game, Echoes the Dancer. So that was actually the first one in the Echoes series. I've talked about the other Echoes games, but yeah, I liked this one too. I think of the 3 Echoes games that I played so far, there was Echoes the Dancer, Echoes the Microchip, and Echoes the Cocktail. I like Echoes the Cocktail the best because it had some of the images and stuff. I felt like that was more important to the puzzle solving. There wasn't much puzzle solving, but like I liked looking at the images of that one more than the other ones. Also, the other 2 made me cry. But I enjoy all of them. Some more old games that we got to play. Flashpoint Fire Rescue is a game I hadn't played in a long time. This is a cooperative game where you're firefighters trying to save people from a burning house. Every turn, there's gonna be fire that's like appearing in the house after everyone's turn, and each person has different actions they can do on their turn, like takes action points to move or to rescue people or to put out fires. So you're trying to like rescue people before the house collapses or before there's too much fire. So we hadn't played in a while, and we played on the hardest difficulty, which can be pretty hard because like depending on what you roll, because you roll dice for the fire to spread, we got some pretty bad rolls. If you keep rolling the same thing over and over again, the fire is going to keep exploding, and that's what happened. So we lost pretty quickly, but it was fun. I also played Kitchen Rush, which I mentioned when I talked about Rush MD. So we played Rush MD a couple times with my friend's copy, and then he mentioned that he hadn't played Kitchen Rush before, and we have Kitchen Rush. So the next time we played Kitchen Rush because he hadn't played it. So Kitchen Rush is similar to Rush MD, but you're chefs working in a restaurant, so it's food themed. But you have 2 hourglasses. Each person has 2 hourglasses, and then there's like 1 helper, 1 or 2 helpers. And you're going to different places, same mechanics of placing the hourglasses on the spots, and then you wait for the timer to go out before you can place somewhere else. But you have to like buy different ingredients and prepare dishes for the customers. You have to go like serve them as waiters and have them seated, and then like prepare the dishes on different plates and add salt and pepper and cook them in the oven. In the oven, that's what takes the most time because you have to like, everyone's crowded at the oven. But anyways, we played, that was fun. But yes, I like Rush MD better. I played Venn once, which is a party game where you're like, it's a Venn diagram mixed with like cards, Dixit type cards that you're trying to put down to convey certain words in the different Venn diagrams. But there's a cooperative mode and a team mode, and I still have only played the cooperative mode. I also talked about it last month. Draw the Line is another review copy that was new to me. It's a drawing connect the dots team game. So there's teams of 2, and one person has the word that they're trying to convey, and they draw it on this like grid of dots. It has dots, so you're drawing like a connect the dots style thing, but each dot is a different symbol. And so you draw the dots, and then after you have your image, you know what number are the dots, like 1, 2, 3, 4, connect the dots. And so you're doing charades now for the icons to your teammate. And so then they know number 1 is the moose, and then number 2 is like the cassette tape or something. And so then they draw what you drew out. So they make their own connect the dots and then try to guess what the word was. So it's kind of a lot of steps, but it gets really hard because you have to win 3 times to win. And then like, as it gets to the 3rd round, it changes the grid that you have. And then there's like openings in the grid. So it's not a grid of dots anymore. There's like gaps. So it's harder to get your image across. It's hard to make like an abstract image and then people guess, but somehow it worked because I guess the words are like common enough. One of the words is maybe like a tree, and then the image is like a blob. It looks kind of like a mushroom or a tree, like people end up guessing it. Another review copy I got was Dexterity Jane, which is a kind of speed dexterity game, but basically there's cards that show hands with like fingers down, certain fingers down or up. And in the first round, there's going to be 1 card out in the middle of the table, second round 2 cards, etc. Keeps going more and more. But you're going to take all the cards, and if there's multiple with the same finger down, if there's 2 with the same finger down, then they cancel out. If there's 3, then it goes back to like, that's supposed to be down, but you're supposed to like put your hands based on what the cards say. So like if there's one with the index finger down, then you do that, and then like it's right hand or left hand too, that's different. So once you do that, whoever does that first, they put their hand down and lock it in, and then everyone does it. But if you mess up, then you don't get points. So like whoever gets first gets the most points, and then the other people get less points if they get right. So it's fun, and it gets difficult as the rounds go on because there's a lot of cards and they're all canceling each other out. It's like, oh gosh. And then people just end up like guessing and then guessing right. But yeah, I had fun with that. It reminded me kind of Bunny Bunny Moose Moose, but like a lot simpler. Bunny Bunny Moose Moose is an old party game that was actually very complicated, but I enjoyed that one too. I also played Go Away Monster once with my kids, which I think I mentioned before, but Go Away Monster is a children's game where you're drawing shapes out of a bag, cardboard pieces, and putting them onto your bedroom, matching the different shapes like a bed, a lamp, things like that. But they're monster shapes, so if you draw a monster, you say, "Go away, monster," and you put it away. So this was the first game my toddlers played by the rules, and they still enjoy it. And I think I might have mentioned this before, but they do like putting the monsters in the bed rather than like throwing them into the box or wherever they're supposed to do. They say, but they do say, "Go away, monster." They say, "Go away, monster," and then like tuck it into bed. All right, and lastly, I played All Is Bomb, which is a solo print and play card game. It's available for free for print and play, pay what you want on itch.io, but All Is Bomb, all the cards are bombs. So you're trying to serve a princess the breakfast, so like the princess is a card, the breakfast is a card, but like all the cards are bombs, so the princess is also a bomb and the breakfast is also a bomb. But basically what that means is every turn you're playing a card, so you have like a hand of cards on the table, and you have to play one of those cards. And when you play a card, it tells you like how many cards to draw from the deck, and then like the last one of those goes into your hand. The other ones get pushed to the bottom of the deck. But then the action happens of the card, and then you have to flip the card over. And then so there's the blue side, which it starts on, and the red side, which is the flipped over side. And then if you play a red card, then after doing like the normal stuff, then it gets discarded. So discarding is hard to get back into the deck, and that's like because the bombs exploded, I guess thematically. So all the cards end up like turning over and then getting discarded because they are all bombs. So you have to like win, which is get the princess played on its red side and the breakfast into your hand on its red side before all the cards explode, or like you can't win anymore. But I streamed it solo on Twitch, and I have a YouTube video of the playthrough on our channel. And there's also a bunch of expansions and like a campaign mode that uses all the expansions in order, which seems kind of cool. But I liked it. It was a perfect information puzzle-y solo game because like you can see the whole deck. You can look through it at any time, so you know what's gonna happen. So I thought it was pretty neat. I might try out the expansions and campaign sometime in the future. And that's it for the games I played in September. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like below and subscribe for more videos. And let me know what your favorite game you played in September was. And if you're planning on sticking around YouTube longer, then check out this video next. Thanks for watching Board Game Blitz. Bye!